really from start to finish. We had some moments where we had built some momentum with a couple stops, and we got it down to 7, missed a rebound, and they kind of got it back up to 10. But they were, for outside of the first 5 or 6 minutes of the second half, I thought we came out of the locker room good, got it to 2, and then they extended that up to 7 or 9, and really just maintained that level the whole way. So credit to Wright State. They played more physical. They played tougher. They got the ball where it needed to go, and we did a poor job tonight of guarding the basketball, rotating to the basketball, and we played definitely a step slow. And after a tough loss on Thursday night, you got to have a competitive spirit of fight and resilience and grit. And we didn't show that. We showed it at times. We didn't show it collectively tonight as a group. So that's something that we are going to address and get better at, and going to keep finding ways to put ourselves in position to win these games.
Open for questions.
Coach, one bright spot was DeMarie, 25 points. Coming back off the injury the last few games, how has he looked to you offensively? And when DeMarie is going right, what's the most exciting part about him in his offensive game?
Well, I think with him, the Mars and I, through film and talking, he's a confident player by nature, and the thing that's best about Mars is that he really is about the team. He cares about the team. When he was out with an injury, he was the guy leading the charge on the sideline at IUPUI. So he's about it. So he's got that presence about him, that swag and that confidence. And when he's in a rhythm, it opens up the floor for a lot of people. And this weekend he had, I think the 2 games he had 9 assists and 3 turnovers. So the part of you see, he's a really good mid-range jump shooter. He's over 50% on the year from mid-range. So he can score at the rim. He can score from the mid-range, and improving his shot selection from 3 is something that we've been working on through practice and through film work. So overall, Mars is he's a competitor, and he does. He had a pretty efficient night tonight. I was glad to see him get to the line 5 times, but he's got a flow about him and a desire to get better each and every practice and each and every week. And it's he's fun to coach that way, and his growth will continue to put himself in a position where he can finish better at the rim and then be a more efficient 3-point shooter. So I'm excited about where he wants to go. He's just disappointed though about this. He would take 5 points in a win. That's the great part about Mars.
Tanner Holding at 38. It's all over the floor tonight. How do you stop a guy like that?
Not to what we did. We had some. You have to use different people on him, but he got into a rhythm, and he is Player of the Year for a reason. He's really good. He has great body control, and you have to stop him by going with multiple guys. Obviously, in this situation, our help defense did not rotate to his drives, and a lot of it was just straight line drives downhill. So you have to throw different guys at him. You have to be physical with him. You have to guard him with a 6'5" or better, or you're going to get beat up in the post. And we did have some guys, some size on him. He went by, finished at the rim, and then the key thing is not fouling. You can't foul that kid. But we did tonight. He went 10 for 11 from the line. I think he has shot now 32 free throws in his last 3 games. So he's averaging 11 against everybody, and he's a really good because he's really efficient. So you can double team him, but you got to be ready to rotate early on that. And they do a good job of spacing the floor, and they have good shooting, and they're a great passing team. I mean, 20 assists and 10 turnovers was terrific tonight for them.
Just a follow-up question.
Yeah.
How do you improve on those defensive areas, especially when we talk about the line drives?
Practice. We've really slipped in some habits. Our initial on-ball defense was really poor tonight, and then our help rotations were poor. And then when they did miss shots, we gave up some timely offensive rebounds that were kind of backbreakers. So overall, it's just defensive rotations, and then being able to guard the first two dribbles with your chest. They got by us under our shoulders and by our hips virtually the entire night. And then when you're in that situation where it's straight line drives, it's really difficult to provide help opportunities when it's happening that fast. So the answer is get back to practice and look at a couple defensive schemes that we can look to explore moving forward and keep improving. It's a week ago we were feeling really good. You lose a tough game on Thursday and then you give up 97 at home. It's not a good 3 days here for the Flames, and we'll get better and we'll keep chopping away. And core values are diligence and grit, and we're gonna have those next week and go on the road against Detroit and Oakland and come out and compete.
One more question.
Yes.
For me. Obviously, there's a lot of negatives that came out of this game, but what are the positives from your coaching perspective that you saw from this game?
Well, the positives are that we obviously just you look up at and say, okay, 81's always good enough to win a game. The second half as the game went on, we took harder and harder shots. So we started the second half really well. I think we're up shooting like 55% at the under 12 timeout. We ended up shooting 39%. So as the game got, and we've got to learn how to grow that. As the last 10 minutes of the game wore on, the shot selection, we pressed a little bit. In the last 3 minutes of the game, we did not score a point. So it's, you're at 7, and you got to get that to where it's 3 or 4 point game where you put some game pressure on the other team. And our shot selection, missed some drives at the rim, did not help us in that situation. So it's great looking at 81. I can't. I'd say that DeMaurier played a good, solid offensive floor game. And I like the fact that, again, we had 13 assists and 9 turnovers. We're doing a good job taking care of the ball. But on that other end, it's really it hurt my basketball soul tonight to give up 97.
Any other questions?
Yep.
Jae's played a good amount of minutes tonight, 8 points, 8 rebounds.
Yes.
Obviously coming off the injury, had a couple of key performances in the wins on
Yes.
the road. As a freshman, in your eyes, what's the ultimate version of JaeSean, what he can bring as far as tonight, the rebounding, athleticism, things like that?
No doubt. No, JaeSean's got a great confidence in Demeter ever since I first met him. He's a worker. I remember the first time I saw him, it was 6 a.m. working out in the gym at Astronaut High School down in Florida. So he loves working. He put a ton of time into his body, which is why he's able to play as a freshman. And then naturally he's got a swagger about him that I belong out there on the floor. So he brings that with him every day. He brought it from the first day he got here in the summer. And then the great thing about him is he's played, I think this is his 6th game. So everybody, you look at Jace and it's like, man, that kid's he's a good freshman. He must have been playing a lot. Like, he's still in the baby stages of his freshman season, and is doing some really good things. And the great thing about it is he competes every night. He cares. And then his rehab, he did everything he needed to do rehab-wise to be good. So he's going to be a really good player. He's a really good player now. He's going to be even better with more and more experience. So these 10, 12, 14 games we have before the Horizon League tournament begins, I think, are crucial for our whole team. But for him, he's gonna really blossom even more, I believe.
One more quick question.
Fire away.
As far as of recent, obviously, you won 3 games last week.
Yeah.
You lost a couple two in the last game of this
Yes.
one. Who's the X factor guy that you would like to see step up in these moments?
I'm going to give you the coaching cliche answer. It's the team. We've had different guys that have been able to do it. DeMaurier said it in the locker room that it's us. There's an us There has to be some collective accountability as a team each and every night going into it, and then kind of that one person could be anybody, but a calming factor on both sides of the floor. But our team has to play better. We lost our confidence defensively tonight when they scored at will in the first half, and it was like we were taking body shots. So it's the team we have to respond, and we have to grow, and we have to get tough. And they're a tough physical team. They're a really good team, and the reason why that program has been where it has been for the last 6, 7, 8 years. So that's where we're working to get, and we're not going to stop doing it. But the team has to own everything. Our seniors, in particular, you'd like to see Kevin Johnson cares. He's Jalen Warren. Those guys, Jamie Hale. They give everything, and they care. So those guys will help that. But we've got to do this collectively.